Hi everyone, this is Killshot from 99 Gaming. This is The Walking Dead Season 9. Rick dies, maybe not. Tonight we're going to follow up on some really good conversation from last night. Appreciate everybody being here. It got intense, it got emotional. We got a lot of things to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about some potential variations. I'm going to unveil, I got a question last night and they said, Kills, who would you recast if you were recasting The Walking Dead, Rick Grimes? And I got somebody for tonight. So at some point during this telecast, I will pop it up on the screen. You'll see who I think would be the Rick Grimes recast. So stay tuned for that. It'll be a little bit lighthearted. I know there's a lot of different things out there. Some people want the story to end. They don't want the story to end. They want Rick to leave. They want Rick to come back. We're going to cover all of that. So just stay tuned. Buckle your seatbelts. We just have one rule, and that is to get involved and participate. We've got Valar in the house. Valar, you're gonna like something I'm going to show a little bit later. So this is kind of for you as well. So Valar says, hello, 99 Army, Kill Steph, Emmy Kells, Bree, Sweet Tommy, sponsors, and Patreons. And also, I want to give a special shout out to some of the sponsors as well. You can see Walking Dead Nerd with the loyalty badge. So something new for the sponsors. They had a badge. It was like for everybody that was there. And now, how many ever months that you're a sponsor, you get a different badge. So, hey, we're adding a little bit of creativity to it. And let's talk a little bit about Andrew Lincoln, Rick Grimes. What is going to go down here? And hopefully you guys saw on the Walking Dead 99 Army page, I had a very passionate post today that I will be a Walking Dead fan no matter who's on the show. I'm a fan of the show. I'm a fan of the stories. I strongly disagree that this is always Rick's story and it's always going to be about Rick's story. Maybe it was for a while, but for me, it's about the journey, it's about the walkers, it's about the people. It's not just about Rick for me. So if you feel that way, I apologize that you feel that way and that's all you're getting out of the show. I mean, that's fine. But I like the storylines of everybody. And with that being said, I think that there could be some other potential leaders. You know what? I'm down for Ezekiel. If Ezekiel takes over as a leadership role, I'm cool with that. I like Zeke. I like Corey Payton. I think he did an amazing job. And if he's the one who's going to run with it, then maybe he's somebody's name that should be tossed out there. Also, I think that we got to give the other actors on the show due respect. That Norman Reedus getting a big bonus. Jeffrey Dean Morgan is going to be there. Other characters worked their butts off. So I just think it's a little short-sighted to say that the show lives and dies with Andrew Lincoln. That's just my thought. So I'm going to... Dwayne Sharp says Garrett Dillahunt for Rick. I don't know. I mean, let me see a little bit more of John Dory before I make the comment whether or not I think he can be a leader. I like John Dory, but he's sort of not starting out in that strong leadership role. I see John Dory more of like a Daryl. Lethal Knowledge says, give it to Jerry. So I'm going to bounce around a little bit, get to a few of your topics, and then we will talk about some alternatives to the Rick Grimes death. I've seen some of your theories already. Valar, I agree with that. As long as they give us great writing that draws us more in than before, it's all good. The writers are going to be challenged. But not the writers' fault that Rick left. But they do have their work ahead of them, no doubt about it. Denise, I don't think we need to hear officially from Andrew Lincoln. I mean, this is all over. It's Walking Dead's Twitter. It's EW.com. It's official. And this isn't going to get out there and not be true at this point. The comments that he made were about focusing more on film. Well, we can definitely go down that road. So Lakeisha says, I think it is the writer's fault. What would be the writer's fault to make someone want to pursue movies, pursue local opportunities in the UK, and want to spend more time with their family? I mean, that's pretty straightforward. One thing that you have to be careful to do is put too much sensationalism into the story. There's multiple stories out there reporting it. And we can break it down, we can dissect it, but there's also third-party sources that have no insight into people's way of thinking that are saying, well, maybe he did it this way, maybe he did it that way, maybe he did it this way. It is confirmed in major media outlets. So it's the way it's going to go down. If for whatever reason it was not the case, the one thing I can tell you is Walking Dead would have immediately responded that this is not true. If there's anything you can learn about media, that would be something that I think so. But I'm not gonna go back and forth on that any longer because I think it's kind of a dead topic saying, well, maybe it's not true. I just don't feel. So moving on to the next topic. So I think a little bit more value to our time is going to be talking about potential stories. Now, one thing that I don't know would be confirmed at this point is I heard 6 episodes. So that to me would be more speculating because I would expect to hear from Scott Gimple or somebody else as far as how many episodes. So Epic Vid said, we woke up with Rick, The Walking Dead is Rick. Well, Epic, here's the thing I would say. It's not going to be. And you have 2 options. You can write it down with Rick, or you can realize that the sun is going to come up after Andrew leaves the show. And as a fan of the show, you're going to turn on that cable television, you're going to watch it. You may not like it, but I would say most people are going to watch a few episodes afterwards just to see what goes down. If Rick were to die, it would probably be one of the highest rated Walking Dead shows ever. So, here, case in point. If the Walking Dead ratings have dwindled a little bit over the last couple seasons, so we know that for a lot of reasons. So, if rumor gets out that Rick is going to die in episode number 5 or episode number 6, how many people here are going to watch that episode? How many of you are going to watch Rick's last episode if that's the way it goes down? Prepare for the screen to light up. All right, I think pretty much everybody. If you're a Walking Dead fan and you're in this stream, you're probably a Walking Dead fan. Everybody in here is going to watch that. How many people do you think that may be on the fence about The Walking Dead are going to watch a Rick death episode? Because I can tell you, it's going to be quite a bit. I'm checking out a few of the comments here. Cammy says, me. He's my favorite character. Drama King's going to watch it. Okay, so if all of you are going to watch it, and people that are on the fence are going to watch it, okay, last question with this. Could it potentially be the highest rated episode of all time for The Walking Dead? A lot of people are saying yep. Okay, if Rick were to leave and Walking Dead announced this is Rick's last episode and not die, if he were just to leave, like disappear, and they made that announcement in advance, it potentially could still be the highest rated Walking Dead episode of all time. So they didn't plan it this way, but by announcing it, it certainly is going to get the fans really, really on edge and hyped up about Season 9. So you're going to see ratings in Season 9. Andrew Lincoln probably did them a favor by announcing this well enough in advance, because we're talking about it 5 months in advance. It's a big, big topic right now. So if we're talking about it for the next 5 months, by the time the season starts, we are going to be so amped up, so hyped up, that the Walking Dead ratings are going to get up there. Writers didn't plan it this way, but they got a little bit of a gift. Now the challenge is going to be, can they write a story that's going to keep people engaged, whether he comes back or whether he doesn't come back? So exactly, Carrie. It's gonna set records. And by promoting it this far in advance, absolutely it's gonna set records. Okay. According to the first two sources that were out there, and this has been in Forbes, this has been in EW.com. So the first two sources that were both out there, this is for Lakeisha Faison, said this will be Andrew Lincoln's last season. He wants to pursue other film opportunities. And then the follow-up was he wanted to also stay local in the UK. So I take that for what it's worth. It's no small task to leave a show. You are the face of the franchise. There's no doubt. But it will also bring everybody back to The Walking Dead. And it's up to the writers. If he leaves in 6, now that's the part I'm not sure about. Maybe he leaves in 8. So I think it's a win-win for him. And, we got into a little bit of this last night. Look, I don't want to psychoanalyze Andrew Lincoln and what his rationale is. Guy made an announcement. People are covering it. It's the way it goes. What's more disturbing, though, is the amount of fair weather fans that are, well, if Rick leaves, I'm not watching the show anymore. It's your choice. I mean, you might be missing a good show. And I agree with that. So Walking Dead Nerd says, I'm trying to figure out if he was going to leave the group and not die, what would make him leave? All right, I'm going to get to a couple comments in 1 second. So, to those of you out there that are saying, what type of confirmation are you looking for other than The Walking Dead, AMC's Twitter site, EW.com? I'm confused here when people are saying it's not confirmed. Are you waiting for like a live interview with Andrew Lincoln to come out so you hear it? I mean, every media outlet is reporting this. I'm It's not savage. I mean, I'm a little confused at how much proof people need. I mean, there is certainly denials. Denial is the first stage of it. So I think once people get over the fact that it's real, that this is what is going to go down, that this is not a fake pump everybody up type of article. This is really confirmed. So Epic says Carl's death couldn't even get big ratings. Glenn and Abe's death couldn't set records, and they never beat. I will tell you this: the hype around Glenn and Abe's death was unbelievable. Around the same time that season 7, in April, May, June, social media was unbelievable. Epic. I mean, that's really when a lot of the theories came out there and a lot of the popularity. You also have to keep in mind that not as many people are watching these on cable television. There's a lot of other ways people are getting these streams, getting this information. So I think it's an unfair comparison. But as far as the buzz around it, I would say the buzz leading up to season 7, episode 1 was as big as anything. And the buzz around Andrew Lincoln leaving is pretty big. All right, but I'm not going to... If you guys want to look this up and report back, here's the thing that I would say, and I don't want to spend the entire stream talking really to 3 or 4 people that want solid proof. Here's the thing I would say. Look up The Walking Dead and just take account of how many media sources and the different avenues and the different confirmations, whether it's from The Walking Dead, whether it's from major Hollywood reporter, EW.com, everybody's reported this. So, anyway, we'll move on. And one of the things that I want to talk about is the fate of some other characters on the show. So, which characters do you think are going to be most affected? And obviously, Michonne is going to be one of those. What is the potential story for Michonne being tied into Rick leaving the show? And type your comments because I want people watching the playback of this. Judith, Daryl, Judith. So give me some Michonne scenarios. And it really would depend on whether you think... I think the first thing is whether you... See, this is a tough question to ask because a lot of people are answering right now with their heart and they're not answering with their head. All right, so I have to ask you. Put your heart to the side and tell me your best possible Rick theory. Does Rick die? How does he die? Or does Rick leave? Give me your best Rick theory right now because every other character, how they react to this depends on what happens to Rick. 1189 Paris, that super chat. I am going to get to you in 1 second. Rick on a stick. You know what? A Rick on a stick is better than a Rick in a box, I guess, right? Mitch says Rick dies. DDA Ohio says Rick leaves to find himself after killing Maggie. Killing Maggie would be so drastic, though. E Beach. Rick commits suicide. That would be way, way out there. Rick's out looking for food. Bumblebee, doesn't he have people to do that for him? I mean, he's the leader. Emmy says she thinks Rick dies. Steph says Rick leaves because someone kidnapped Judith. It's a good theory. Ollie says Judith kidnapped. So the Judith kidnapping theory is pretty popular. Tommy V, I like Pirate Rick. I like, Rick needing some time. Or maybe not even Pirate Rick. Maybe Rick knows that... I guess what I would say is if Andrew Lincoln were to leave the show. Well, he is leaving the show. When Andrew Lincoln leaves the show, could he possibly feel the pressure? And I'm going to get to Super Chat for Paris in 1 second because I got just a whole lot of stuff I want to talk about with that. Do you think that Rick has been attacked so many times by so many different groups that he needs to go out and find a source, a cure, something, rather than just living until the next big threat comes on? See, that's what I could see him do. Like, you know what? I can't protect the group anymore. Dangers out there are bigger than us, and I got to find it. I got to find what I'm looking for. And then he walks off, and YouTube is in the background playing, still haven't found what I'm looking for. There you go. That'd be heart-wrenching. All right. So with the topic of recasting, so we don't know that Rick dies. We don't know that Rick leaves. And some people are saying, you know what? You can't recast him. He is the Walking Dead. Well, maybe Rick Grimes is that character. I'm not hearing a lot of people just say Andrew Lincoln is the Walking Dead. I'm hearing them say, we grew up with Rick. We woke up with Rick. You're telling me about Rick. So 1189 Paris, this is the Super Chat Spotlight. And he says, what's wrong with recasting the character Rick Grimes? Is way too important to kill off or have his character just leave. The Walking Dead has always done a good job of casting. So that's a follow-up because I got the question last night and someone asked me, who would I recast as Rick Grimes? And this is in humor, but this is a special shout-out to Villar. Where are you at, Villar? This is for you. Liam Cunningham. Hey, he's going to be looking for a job, right? You see the beard? You see, hey, just add a little bit of hair in the front, and boom, you got your next Rick Grimes. So if you guys can think of somebody better to recast for Rick Grimes, give it to me right now. I had to search long and hard for this comparison. Look, we're thumbs up all over the place. Oh, there you go. Fluff is saying Kiefer Sutherland. All right, not bad, not bad. Perfect fit. All right. Even if you're not a fan of recasting, just give it a little bit of thought. Rick's going to be a little bit older. I would say, I just think if they were going to recast, the way that I would do it as a writer is I would let him leave and then bring him back at the end of the season and maybe recast it. If, let's say, Rick were to go out looking for something, or Rick were to get captured, or any of those scenarios, and it would happen around episode 6, episode 7, and they leave kind of the carrot in front of us, like, is he coming back? Is he coming back? What's going to happen? And they just write it out and then recast someone at the end of it. I think people would be more receptive to a recast rather than just doing it right away. All right, we're going to get to a couple comments here. Robert Patrick. Jude Law. Okay. I'm liking some of the names here. Yeah, the cosplay dude does look like him, but that would be like using a cosplay dude for Abraham. I would rather go with something that's a little bit more established. So Paris says, there you go. Believe it or not, Thomas Jane was supposed to be Rick Grimes originally. Steve Alston. So the thing is, we can't, I don't want to go too cliche here, but we can't always have our cake and eat it too. How many people really, really want and need a Rick Grimes on the show? Just type it right now. Let's be straightforward. If you can't live without the show, if you can't live without Rick Grimes, if you just can't get into the other stories, just let me know right now. Because you can't always get what you want. But if you try sometimes, you might find you get what you need. So that's all I'm going to say is if you got to have Rick Grimes, then Dennis Whalen. Mambo says kinda. A few people are saying yes. Shada. Okay, so for those of you that just got to have Rick Grimes, are you okay with someone that's not Andrew Lincoln? Can't have both. Jeannie, if you got to have Rick Grimes and Andrew's not going to be on the show, you have no choice. So some people are okay with the recast. Or your only alternative is it's got to die. I guess that would be the third question is. The third question would be, would you rather have those of you that really, really are passionate about Rick, would you rather have the character die with Andrew Lincoln and then you don't have Rick, or would you rather the character stay alive with someone else? Pick one or the other. Lakeisha, it's not about money. This dude is racked up on Walking Dead. And the last couple seasons, I mean, he has really, really gotten paid. So, Andrew Lincoln In 2015 was making $90,000 an episode. Not huge money. 1.5, 1.6 million a year. Last season, it's reported after incentives, he made $650,000 per episode. So $650,000 per episode, you can figure out the math. 10 million last year? And the year before, probably 300,000 episode. So I would imagine his net worth's got to be 15, 20 million. It's not a matter of how much money they're throwing at him. It's a matter if he wants to do something differently. So, not everything can be bought with money. All right, so another big question for everybody in the group. We hit 31 minutes. So, I'm going to leave that. So, Denise says, kill Rick, kill the show. Let's be realistic here. How many more seasons do you think the show has anyway? 2? I would say more than 1. The show definitely has more than 1. It's not going to end in 9. Paris says 3 to 5. So most people are saying 3 to 4. Three tops. I'm there with you. I mean, the show's not going to go on forever. You're talking about, at the end of the season, it's going to be 9 seasons. 9 seasons is a very successful show. So I'd give them 11. So here's the angle. All right, so how many people here think The Walking Dead is going to go 6 more seasons? Says nobody. Nobody. So let's say we got 3 more years. You kill Rick off in season 9. Not because they want to, but because he forced them to. Or you let him leave. Whatever. You lose Andrew Lincoln next season. Then you're going to have to create a good storyline for 10. And let's say you end it. Let's say 11 is the last season. Everybody's watching 11 because it could be the last season. So all you really have to do is piece together good writing for 1 season. What are they going to do if 11's the last season? Tune in for the last season of The Walking Dead. So you're going to get great ratings knowing Rick's leaving. You'll probably get average ratings. Could be more than average if people think he could potentially come back. But then you get stellar rankings in 11. So if they go 3 more seasons, 2 of 3 seasons are going to be extremely popular. 1 might be challenging. So kill off Rick, kill the show. Show's probably going to be killed off anyway. What's the problem? Paris says Gunsmoke was canceled after 12, but with new people and direction lasted 8 more seasons. Well, not saying it's not possible. But maybe I don't know. That would be going back into whether or not the writing or this plot or anything had anything to do with it. Maybe Andrew's tired of being Rick Grimes. I mean, I think we would all love to be Rick Grimes, and we would love it, but it's going to take a toll on you. And you know what? That's a great point, too. Walking Dead talks, all the cast getting older. Norman's going to be 50, may not want to stay 6 more years. I mean, another 5 or 6 seasons is going to be the... I'm going to leave that one alone. I was just going to say the Wobbling Dead or something, but, you know, there's only so many years you can run from walkers. And then they may be using walkers to run from walkers. I don't know. I don't know how long they can write that in. But the characters, the dynamic is going to change. It would also be interesting to see the demographic for The Walking Dead. That struck some creativity. Well, look, I'm not going to lie. I mean, Fear the Walking Dead is finally getting some characters that I can relate to. I kind of know The Walking Dead. I know our Fear streams are starting to ramp up. I mean, I know that there's an interest in that story. I know that every time we do a reaction video for Fear, most of the Walking Dead fans are rating it really high. There's not as much frustration around it. Julie says, how bad do ratings have to fall for it to be canceled? I don't think The Walking Dead will ever have that problem. Even if ratings fall, it'll still be the most popular show. It's not losing people at a rate where they have to worry about anything. They're making a ton of money, and they're making a ton of money off ads. The thing that I would say with Carl dying, with Maggie potentially leaving, with Andrew Lincoln leaving, I would anticipate the writers are planning an ending. And 2 years ago, I don't think that was on anybody's mind. And now we can probably safely start to say, yeah, they're thinking about how this thing is going to wrap up. You tell them, Brooke. All right, we are going to take a moment. Brooke brought up a great point. We got 150 people here. If you guys could do me a favor, slap that like button. Stream's running a little bit over. So I've got a couple more announcements I do want to make. So we have totally revamped our schedule. I know we have been doing Game of Thrones. We've been doing random things. Throughout this week, we are going to just hit a couple extra topics. One thing I want to do is I want to do enough of these live streams that people that can't participate, at least this week, I want to give them the opportunity to get their thoughts, get their comments in there. The other thing is, it seems like the more we do our streams, it does lessen the revolt a little bit. I know when things first happen, news comes out, it's a very angry mob type of thing. Everybody wants to know why, and they want to know how. And the more we kind of talk through it, it does seem to sort of give us a little bit of restraint and a little bit more involvement to get our ideas included. I know we don't get everybody's ideas. I don't verbally get a chance to read everybody's. There are definitely some super chats that are in there. But everything you're typing is included in the video. So if you watch the playback, you'll see all of that. Denise says, all of Rick and Michonne fans are gone when Rick goes. Well, maybe they're gone. I mean, Denise, that's just the reality. And I will say this again. You have the right not to watch. You certainly have the right not to watch. And people are going to leave. But that's the same with any show. So I would throw the question out there for the group, because I want you guys to understand a little bit of the composition of the 999 Army and who we are and what we do. So let me take that mentality and let me take that attitude, that Rick Grimes or else attitude. This is for you, Denise, because I saw a little bit of this on our fan page. So how many people here know who my favorite character is on The Walking Dead? We'll see how many of you paid attention over the last 3 years. God knows I've only said it about 1,000 times. Perfect. Abraham. So let's say, as a host that talks about The Walking Dead and is involved with the 999 Army and all of the things that we do, but before being a fan of the show, let's say I'm a fan of Abraham. And I would have told all of you, Abraham dies, I'm not watching the show anymore. Abraham, I love Abraham's story. Loved his story in the comics. I love him hanging out with Eugene. Love him hanging out with Rosita. If he quits the show, if he dies, I'm not watching anymore. I'm not streaming this freaking show. I'm not talking about it anymore. Just find your information. Get involved in another chat, people. And they killed him. Now, every stream that we did, every conversation we had, every hidden clue, every prediction, everything that we've done for the last 2 years would be completely non-existent because it never would have happened. That's why I don't live and die with a character. And I won't. So, I might be an exception to the rule. You certainly have the right to like and to live and breathe with any character on the show. And you have a right not to watch. And if you don't watch, that is certainly your prerogative. But I choose to watch, and I choose to support it, and I choose to network and create it. And if it is less than stellar, we'll talk about it. And we'll talk about writing holes, and we'll talk about things that the writers can do and the challenges. If it's good, we'll talk about it as well. People said it with Nick, and John Dory might be the most popular character on Fear the Walking Dead at this point. And he's definitely growing in popularity. Now, I don't think Rick is an easy person to replace. I'd be lying to you if I thought so. But at the same time, and I mentioned this in the Facebook post, I'm not going anywhere. And Chris, I can't answer that question right now. I mean, I think it's a valid point. Chris Raining says, people will stop watching. I'm a fan. I'll watch, but I won't enjoy it as much. And the thing is, we just don't know. But there are also people who have said the last 2 seasons, like, Walking Dead's dead. People aren't going to watch it. It's the same story, same tired story. And it's just, what are you going to get riled up about next? That's absolutely true, Lamar. John Dory, I think, is a much better choice than Negan. I'm cracking up because I'm reading a couple of the comments. It's a television show. This is not, it's not a company. It's not a, it's for sheer entertainment. It's a television show that is fun to talk about, that is good to analyze, because I think the writers do a good job. And I think the writers challenge us week in, week out, season in, season out, to what we talk about, what we feel, all that emotion. But real life happens, and when people leave, they leave. Hey, Charlie Myers, which show are you referring to? Oh, well, Charlie, here's the thing I can do. Since you're not a fan of the show and you're not a fan of the channel, one thing that we can do is to make sure that you're not on the channel. See, that's easy. And next time, you can just not come into the channel and save yourself the point of even typing something stupid. So thank you, Charlie. Unbelievable. I'm going to go to McDonald's tomorrow and walk in and say, I really hate McDonald's. What is wrong with people? Honestly, kid. I don't even know why I gave you like 10 seconds of acknowledging who you are. All right, Jimmy's jamming. Let's get to some people who actually have some valid opinions. Jimmy's jamming with the super chat says, howdy 999, been away for a few days and my Walking Dead world is falling apart. Go kamikaze. Carol to step up to take charge. Long reach. Whoa, you guys are killing me with this influx of super chats. I can't read that fast. Let's get to Paris again. So Paris, 1189 Paris says, AMC will not end the Walking Dead universe. Maybe the show with Rick Grimes. There'll never be a cure until Robert Kirkman publishes it. I think it's a very good point, but I also think that they may have to do something. You confused me with that because Kirkman has the ending in mind for the comic, and I'm sure he shared that with Gimple, and how they'll do it on The Walking Dead, but I think you got 3 more seasons, Paris, so they may have to escalate that timeline, unless he's planning on ending the comic within the next 3 years. We'll throw that out to the group in 1 second. I do want to give a shout out to Denise LDT. Still not getting notifications anyway. We'll watch later. Good night, Army. Denise, usually when I set it up, I set for the notifications to go out an hour before. That is really, really strange. Thank you so much. I know you always watch the playback, and thanks for being a part of the 999 Army. And Denise is one of my super fans as well, so thank you so much. Appreciate you. I think I got them all, right? I got bombarded with super chats like all in just a couple seconds. All right, so to the hardcore comic fans that are out there that are watching, does the comic end in the next 3 years? Your honest opinion. Recast that like button, Hippo. I'm letting the comments speak for themselves. So we've got some people say 200, some people say 300, some people say 400, some people are saying the comics never need to end. They can keep writing these things forever. Then we're going to come to a crossroads at some point. Jeff says, I stopped reading the comics after Negan was allowed to live after All Out War. Made no sense. Walking Dead Nerd says he could write it forever. I'd love to, but I don't think it will. Susan says, before The Walking Dead ends, I want Carol to take a hose to Daryl. Well, actually, there's some people that were hoping that Daryl would take a hose to Carol. Sorry. That was bad. That was bad. Bad host. All right. Let's move on to some more. I'm trying to throw some comic relief in there because you guys are way too tense right now. And you know what? Just deal with it. You guys lighten up, have a little bit more fun with the show. Stop predicting doom and gloom. Everything ends. Look, here's the thing. We're going to be here. Are there going to be a few people that defect from the Army? Maybe. I hope not. We're going to be talking about this all throughout the week. We're going to ramp it up. Deborah Mooney just gave me a timeout. The host just got timed out of his own show. How does that even happen? I tried to go all like Chris Hardwick on. Okay, that was even worse than the other joke. All right, I'm going to stop. Moving on. I just got, not only did I get timed out, I got timed out twice for a Daryl joke and also Chris Hardwick. All right, moving on to Super Chat, Epic Vids. Thank you for that. You're bailing me out like really quickly here. Epic Vid said, as a fan of The Walking Dead for several years, I would rather they give a good end to the show than drag out and milk it until it's canceled and have a bad end. Epic, I don't think the show will ever lose enough viewers to be canceled. Now, could they drag it out and have a bad ending? Well, absolutely. That they could do, but I think they'll leave on their own terms. Yeah, the Lost ending was bad. A great show with just a really crappy ending. All right, no more off-the-cuff one-liners. So we're going to wind this thing down. We're at 55 minutes. I want to thank all of you guys for being here. This was less of a battle tonight than it was last night, but we've been doing this for a long time. We've been doing these streams probably for, I guess almost 4 years, 3.5 years. I don't know. Time has flown by. And one thing that you do is I think you get enough experience doing this to realize that we have great moderators. We got a great group of people. But even the best group of people, we're all passionate about what we want. And I would just go back and say that this 999 group, this 999 army, we're always going to be passionate about The Walking Dead. And I will follow Walking Dead. I'll follow Fear the Walking Dead. Yes, there's going to be other shows we talk about. We're going to talk about Game of Thrones. But that's the show I think that really brought most of this group together. And I hope that the writers do a good job. And I hope that the story stays interesting. Because I know that it makes the chats much easier. It makes our conversation much easier when we're excited about something rather than frustrated because we don't like the direction of the story. The Chandler thing was an example. I think that with this case, though, you got to take it a little bit differently because it is someone's choice to do this, and it'd be no different than if something happened and he wasn't available to do the show anymore. And either way, as fans of the show, we got to decide whether or not this is something we want to commit to. And I'm committed to it. And Susan even super chatted it. So I'm going to read it again because I think it's a great comment. Not my comment to it, Susan. The Walking Dead final episode, Carol, finally washes Daryl down. So Daryl could use that. Jimmy's Jammin' says, right on kills. And here's the thing. I'm going to do this tonight. The only way you're getting a shout out in this video is if you're going to make the commitment right there with me to be here till the end of Walking Dead. So I'm going to call you out right now. Also, I need to make a special announcement before they do that. Valar, you will be slightly disappointed. We are going to table the Game of Thrones discussion tomorrow night. We're going to push it back 1 week because we've got an additional Walking Dead topic we're going to talk about tomorrow. So we're going to do this tonight, tomorrow, Friday night, and then we're going to do 3 streams on Sunday. So we're going to really talk about the different theories that are out there, what other people are talking about, get more validation. All of those things this week is going to be completely devoted toward The Walking Dead this week. So I will definitely pick up Game of Thrones next week because there's a lot of stuff that I want to talk about. But we got some time with Game of Thrones. But at least I did put the picture of Liam Cunningham up there just for you, Valar. So that was my Game of Thrones tribute for the week. All right. So once again, last night was the quickest hour stream that I've ever done. This is probably the second quickest stream I've ever done. You turn around, an hour is completely gone. It is 10:30 Eastern Standard Time, everybody. So once again, this is the way we're going to close this video. The only people that are getting a shout out in this video are the people that are going to commit to me right now. You're going to be right here with me till the bitter end because I didn't do this to give a live stream to 5 people. So you guys got to stick it out. If you're committed to doing that, give me a 999 right now. I'll get as many shout outs as I possibly can. And there we go. All right, so we'll start it out with Maria Favada. Thank you so much. Looking forward to being here with you till the end of the show. Wicked Raz. Joey Price. There's Negan. What's up, Joey? Brooke Wright. Core Element. Maggie B. Deborah Mooney. Pete M. to the very end. I see you, Pete. Valar. Marie Levy. Tommy V. Casey F. is committed right here. Liz Burnett is in. Dean Stevenson is here to the end. Ultra Groove tonight. Committed. Marion Delonzo. Thank you so much. Cammie, Diane Estes, Sushi Cat Gaming, thanks for being here. Laura Butler, appreciate that. Well, Lonnie is going to be here with the 999. I can't even say who we are anymore. But you know who we are. Sinister One. Tommy is hopelessly devoted to you. I won't do Olivia Newton-John, but well, that didn't sound right. I will not sing Olivia Newton-John songs to you, Tommy. Walking Dead Nerd is here until the end with a super chat confessing that commitment. So thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you so much for being a sponsor. And as Chris Rainick said a little bit earlier as well, I want to thank all the Patreons. You guys know who they are. Thank all the sponsors. We got that brand new sponsorship badge as well. It just shows how long, 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, how long they've been supporting the channel. Also to the moderators, Emmy, Steph, Tommy, Kels, appreciate everything that you guys do. We will be adding some new 999 gear. You guys can see the t-shirt over on the side. Kel, if you can just post a link up in chat. People do ask for it from time to time. If you want to rock a 999 Army shirt and be at a Comic-Con, take some pictures, post it on our Walking Dead 999 Army page. That would be awesome as well. Who else we got here? Zelda Faz going to be here till the end. Couch Cat. Michelle M., have a great night. Walking Dead Girl. Walking Dead Girl is like a popsicle on a hot summer day. There's the popsicle shout out. The Unstoppable Jiren. Who else we got? What's up, North? Thanks for being here. Bumblebee Brown. 999 is always and forever. Thank you, Bumblebee Brown. Tegan. Thank you, Tegan. One letter away from Negan. 1964 Cats. Thank you, Kelly Golan Zenier. Sensational. Maurice Gamble. Thank you, Maurice. Eric C. What's up, Eric C? One and only Dave. Thanks, man. Appreciate the support. See, I knew if I called it out like that, the real 999 Army, the core group, the people that are passionate, are going to be right here with me, because the truth is, I can't analyze this show without all of you. So we have a partnership. You guys need me, and I need you. That's what makes this thing work. We work well off of each other. Who else we got? I know I missed some other. Chosen One. What's up, Sergeant Chosen One? $11.89 Paris. I will never forget about you. And thank you for the super chats and also the comments. Very good insight. Shannon Brown, thank you for being here. Mumbo 55 just went like Stuart Scott. Cool as the other side of the pillow. Dare I say, en fuego. That's where you guys heard me. Like Sports Center, right? DD Ohio, thanks. Wicked Raz wants to know, how can I become a sponsor? If you look at the screen right now, right below where it says more, there is a green sponsorship button. And if you hit that, and I think it's is it $2.99? I think it's a $2.99 contribution. I don't know. I really don't know what the amount is, but I know that you get like some emojis, and we'll do some custom badges. All right, we're going to do a couple more shout-outs. And if you guys could do me a favor, once this video goes live, make sure you leave a lot of comments. Let me know what you liked. Let me know how we can improve it a little bit more. Also, share the video. And if you guys are watching the playback, then by all means, leave comments in the playback. I do read your comments. I don't get a chance to respond to everybody's comment, but I am making a conscious effort to respond to more. Your comments are always included in the video, and the comments that you type once the video goes live, we do use those in videos on some of our other channels, 909 Dead and a couple other channels, as we start to ramp those up. And you're going to start to see more content on those as well. All right. Drama King. Thank you so much, Drama King. Check the tapes. We'll always check the tapes. Sinister One wants to sponsor and wants merchandise. So Kel posted the merchandise up there a little bit earlier. It is 909 Gaming at Threadless. There's several different options other than the shirt. Patreon site is on our main YouTube page. That's one way to do sponsorship, and also the sponsor button. So those are some of the options. And then we got some people that even take it to a different level, and the super chat's also a way to sponsor the channel as well. And not only does it, one thing that's awesome about the super chats is it does it highlights. And a lot of times it'll change the topic. So if we're on a topic and you have something really, really passionate, you want to super chat it, then that's another way to sponsor the channel. You put it up there and we will definitely talk about it, highlight it, call you out. We're probably going to, I don't know if it's not going to be this Friday because of the Walking Dead news, but I think next Friday we're going to start to do our Freestyle Fridays, and the super chats will make a little bit more sense for those. But Andrew Lincoln just changed our world this week. We had a lot of stuff scheduled. I was back from vacation. We were going into random things, and I've got the list of topics all ready to go, and then this happened, and we had to talk about it. So I will be here tomorrow night at 9:30 with a Walking Dead topic. Be ready to talk a little bit more Andrew Lincoln, and we'll talk about some different potential storylines and a few other things. Could be a Rick shirt coming out as well soon. I just can't infringe on Walking Dead's copyright stuff. I don't want to. We are the 999 Army. There are some slogans, some things that we can throw out there every once in a while, but I don't want to be, two up into, I'm sure they're going to promote it, and AMC definitely owns those rights. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate all that you guys are doing. Another stream over an hour, so we're definitely pushing the limits this week. I will talk to you all tomorrow night. Peace.